Greetings, I'm Les.
And I am Scandal.
And let's play a game together!
Woo!
All right, so we are Book 10, Chapter 3 with Julian, and he has just gone down the elevator.
Just dig a little deeper and work a little harder and fling it up and kiss the frog. And
just dig a little deeper and glorify the hard work. Yeah, harder. Hard work harder. So we just learned what an elevator was, so that was great.
I know. I love we were just like, is this an elevator? And I'm like, no, it's an elevator.
So I was helping someone edit a book at one point, and it was freelance work. But what I mostly do is like continuity issues and like comprehension issues. So they were trying to describe like a bell tower,
right?
And the way they described like the bell being in there and the where the clapper was and how it was hung, I'm like, you could be describing like a wrecked steam engine or an elaborate tower on the Sistine Chapel. I got nothing. Like,
you're
what's
like,
going on? Like,
this is too broad.
This is so confusing and yet specific.
Right?
Anyway, without a way to tell time, I don't know how long it's been. I asked Julian to send the cage back up. Could we just say elevator? We don't have that word in this language. It's fine.
We have other words, but we just don't have elevator. It's fine.
But the vast machinery remains silent and still, and I don't have a page button. I'll call it back to me.
I'm also like, that seems like that would actually be a design flaw. So I think, did we talk about that in the episode or outside of the
We did a little
episode?
bit about going, it seems like you'd be able to call it back to you and not only control it from inside the cage.
Yeah, because that would cause a huge problem, like logistically. If you got sent down there and somebody needed to also come down and help you with anything, you would need to be able to have the option to be able to push it yourself, because if they're doing something down below, I'm like, logistically, like,
additionally,
efficiency, man, come on.
Like, if you could send it back up and have someone send supplies down to you, any number of different things. Also, the fact that this cage is barely big enough for one person, I'm like, why would you want that freaking tiny of an elevator?
Do you know how tall it would have to be?
If
Julian?
I'm like, so if it's barely big enough for one person, but Julian can get it, I would say that Muriel's screwed. He can't get down there. But he had to go down. How did he get into it to go and get Julian?
Leans over the edge. Hello down there.
Leans over the edge. Helen, you gotta get yourself out of the prison now. You gotta come up here. Asher says so.
Get out of the pit of eternal stench. Or is he stuck in the oubliette? He might be stuck in the oubliette.
I mean, this is basically an oubliette. I paced in front of the empty enclosure without examining my environment or trying to figure out other things to do. I don't even know how far down the lift goes. You wouldn't. If there's cables, you could always shimmy down the cables.
Ouch.
I mean, hey, we don't know what kind of stuff we have. We can just wrap cloth around it.
No, but we might not have that education. Like, for me, my instant
I mean, we're
reaction
not
is, ouch.
athletic. We're not.
Oh my God,
we know
we're
we're not.
I'm waiting for now this character to basically collapse on the floor because we've been pacing for a while and then going, ah!
I just take off my belt and my pouch and I make a pillow and I lay down on the cold stone floor.
I'm so tired. I'm the doormat. Don't
like,
you love me?
Why aren't we examining the cool magical machine? As far as I know, we've never seen a magical machine in our life.
I know. I'm like, have we seen this crap?
We have no sense of curiosity. All we have is worry. We are worried.
We are concerned. Also, I would be fascinated just as a magician anyway of going, you've discovered how to make a machine
with
that
magic?
Literally uses magic, as far as we could tell, to power itself and continue on without ever degrading. That's insane. When our magic down here all the time.
Right. And it's been sitting down here running for years without being used, or at least the dust and rust implies.
Right? You'd have to. I mean,
we just assume. My thoughts chase each other in circles, returning always to the image of Julian descending in the cage.
Looking like a wounded puppy.
Looking crowded, and like Muriel would die like a tuna, like a sardine in a can trying to get in there.
Except it's more like you have the little meat encasing when you're like wrapping up your beef, and it like squeeze and it like pops out around the edges. You're like, ha!
Yeah, it's a beef net kind of thing.
The beef net, right. I'm like, what's the term?
And just the little bulging out of the edges.
Little eyes,
like
boy, could help.
That would be amazing.
And his little lips.
Alone. But how did you go down and send Julian up and then go up? Like, he came down and got me. He just did it like old TV show Beauty and the Beast style, and he rode on top of the cage. Like, he was always riding on top of the subway.
Oh, no, yeah.
And that's it. Julian was in the cage, and then you had Muriel on top of it, just crouched up there like a goddess.
And now we've gone into 90s television, y'all.
It was
How
amazing.
young do you feel?
It's fine. Then I hear shouting somewhere in the tunnels. Is it Portia?
We're in trouble because somebody found the wig.
I know that voice. Is it Portia? It's Portia! Portia! She's lost. I hear an answering shout, then footsteps growing louder.
Nerd, you're all right. I get worried, so I came down to look for you and Adelia. Where's Adelia?
You see, I threw him down a pit.
Goodbye! Yeet!
I yeeted him off the screen. And as you know, nothing exists when you can't see it on the screen.
I did. I'm like a baby like that. You put your hand.
We have a name for it. It's not a cage anymore. It's a lift now. We do have a lift. Confirmed.
Oh, lift.
He went down in the lift. I'm sorry. He went down in the lift.
By himself?
Well, I couldn't fit, dear.
Honestly,
so...
I'd be like, it's only one person.
She rushes past me towards the empty enclosure. You mean towards the cage in front of the elevator? When she approaches the elevator... Now we use elevator?
Wait,
why was it... Okay, if our character knows lift and knows elevator, why did... Okay, this is a problem I've been having with the series. So if you haven't seen the last episode, this will be a little bit of a confusing of a rant, but I'll try and go really fast about it. It feels like during this city, the authors keep switching between I'm writing towards you, the player, to read this,
right,
and then between writing towards you, the character, to read this.
Right.
When they say a snake crawls up Asra's leg or your leg, it is towards the player. Otherwise, they'd have said Faust crawls up because that's what you, the character, knows.
Right.
In this case, since we have just demonstrated that our character knows what a lift and an elevator is, and saying there is a strange cage with a cage inside of it over there with a strange contraption.
And it had a whole fiasco surrounding the machinery and
whatever. It's basically trying to create a weird sort of uncomfortable and unexplained experience for the reader. So they keep moving back and forth. It's like changing tenses.
Yeah, it's really awkward.
Writing, and it's very destroying. Every time I get invested and I'm like, okay, I got this. My suspension of disbelief, it's set down. Then they're like, now I'm writing towards you, the reader, and not towards you, the character. Right. And so it's really frustrating to figure out what we, the character, know.
Right.
All right. When she approaches the elevator, she spots the plaque. Portia leans close, mouthing the words to herself, her eyes growing wide with shock.
Oh, Ilya?
We know that this plaque was forged just for you because they are that much of a shitlord.
Either that or it's also for... So by this implication, you could possibly assume that anybody who basically was a plague doctor or a doctor of some kind or somebody who just murdered a ton of people...
with blood on their hands.
Which sounds very... whatever. I mean, I took one look at this and decided to go down alone.
He did, and I didn't try and stop him, and I didn't offer to squeege in the cage with him. And honestly, again, if Muriel can fit in there, we should have been able to fit the two of us.
It's true.
Muriel's at least as wide as the two of us put together.
He's Hagrid.
He's huge.
He's enormous. He's just Bucky Barnes meets Hagrid. It's just the kind of thing that made him think he's a really horrible... Oh,
I know, she is
that
sad.
devastation. She's also a bit like that frustration of like, I'm sad, but I'm also frustrated. Like,
that he's so stupid.
And also like, he's so destructive. He's so freaking self-destructive. It's kind of exhausting.
We didn't try to stop him or interact with it in any way.
All.
And we as players weren't given an option to. Like, we didn't even get a choice. It's barely big enough for one person. He is a toothpick. If it's that, then who else can get in there?
No kidding.
And what's your one person? She takes a deep breath and turns her back on the elevator.
Well, Nerd, let's head back to my cottage, like we agreed.
We're gonna leave him there? Jinx.
Potato, 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 potato. Again. Did we get the wig?
Why would
I'm still
leave
him? Like, the wig is still running around. This door has now been opened. There's still the lights on. Are you really gonna tell me we're gonna leave him in the dark?
Because there's not a lot of fuel left in these lights, so they're just gonna gutter and go out when he's clearly demonstrated fear and discomfort with dark, or at least being alone in these kinds of places.
I'm like,
no, I'm gonna stay here. A choice will pop up.
Maybe this time he's there already.
But he's not lost. He just went down to a place.
I bet he's sitting there spoiling Peppy and wondering why we're not back yet.
Yeah, well, like he dumped Peppy off his lap that one time.
I know, and she just shredded big, huge, long gouges in his pants.
That's how he got ruined pants. Sorry. It's why Julian had to, be like, I just sat at home darning my pants for a long time. It's fine. Her smile is wobbly, but genuine. I nod, and we start...
No! Why would we go? I'm like...
This doesn't make any sense. I don't have any idea why we would go back or why we wouldn't stay here. Also,
why would I be here for you? You know what I'm going to do it the next time when somebody walks up? We're a doormat. We're totally like, yep, whatever anybody wants, I'll just go with them. Even sometimes where I feel like the character they're trying to develop goes, I have a personality and I have desires and things that I want. It goes completely out the window as soon as anybody else presents any idea at all.
I nod, and we start the long trek back to the tunnels. Why would we think that he could get out of there without using the elevator? The elevator looks like a very specific entrance to a very specific location. Are we thinking he went down to a giant cave and then now I went out through the natural exit in the land?
I mean, it's possible it's connected to a natural cave. We don't know. But I'm also like, this is just terrible.
It's weird.
Hope he's not going to do something reckless.
Well,
Oh, you are really trying not to cry, and
Yeah. poor baby. He would never do that. Neither of those things are the things I would say. He said he wanted a future with me. That would be the one to imply that he's less likely to do something reckless because he's thinking ahead. He's actually planning for more than just the minute in front of him. So I think that would be appropriate.
Right.
Because he would never do that as just defensive and going, well, he's completely impulsive. Of course he would.
Yeah, it's like going, no, we've already established
But-
that he's a mess, especially to his sister.
But
and then
he
going
has
like, he said
he has established he wants to live.
he has a goal.
Yes.
Going like to us,
He has a goal. So I'm going to say he wanted a future with me.
Yeah.
Right. He said he wanted a future with me.
Oh. Huh. He doesn't usually think
Yes!
mostly about the future.
He does not usually think that far ahead at all. I
Yes!
know. We've been paying a little bit of attention to him.
I know. You know, even though
smidge.
he's a disastrous, self-destructive beanpole man.
Like I said, it's a ballet. You know, that was like a disaster ballet in 5 parts. Somewhere in there.
so
Yeah.
it works great.
Anyway, it's late afternoon when we reach the library. I take a deep breath, clearing the stagnant air from my lungs. I think about shoving a giant heavy chair in front of the bookcase, not so he can't get out, but so no one else can get in. And then I realize it would be suspicious. And then I get grumpy and go, do you actually think he's not there?
I also would be very sad. I'm like, you just left him alone. Like, I am actually kind of upset going like,
Uh-huh.
this seems inappropriate. Why would you leave him? I don't care if he... I can't feel it.
It feels reckless and uncomfortable. And unless for some reason Portia knows something about how to get out of that place, but she said she didn't know the place existed.
Yeah, so I'm like,
I don't think she should have any information about it. And also going, Portia, do you know what a lift is? Do you know how we could page it from the top? Also, there's this giant machine here. Maybe we can tell it from the machine itself to come back up, etc., etc.
I'm uncomfortable.
Ah,
It's fine. I'm just... Knowing that makes me feel better, Nerd. I know how much he cares about you.
yeah, but you
But
gotta
what
know.
about you? Okay, the one thing also bothering me is like, he has the no value of relationship in reference to his sister, either.
Yeah.
I don't care about you. It's like, his sister in some ways should be actually, just is way closer to him in some ways than we are going to ever be, because we really actually still don't know him very well.
We also didn't grow up with him or share any family history with him. They clearly have spent more time together. Because, yeah, some siblings don't grow up together. But they clearly were very familiar with each other when they, first reconnected.
Yeah.
Encountered each other again.
Uh-huh. I'm like, why is it not a deal of it going, like, what is be like, why wouldn't he talk about her? Like, again, I'm having this thing of going, you don't feel like characters. You're not talking about a background. You barely sometimes talk about each other. It's
It's a little
weird.
odd. It feels strange.
And also, all she does is actually mostly seem to talk about him. He doesn't really seem to talk about her much at all.
So are we having a Bechdel test problem here? We're just talking about men in every conversation?
So whereas then are you saying that the writers are assuming that in actually all of we're women?
No, what I'm saying
No,
is
but I'm saying like in terms of that, like going off of that then, so basically you're having two women, right, that have only conversations about a man. Because
Well, I
that's
was
what the Bechdel test
I was
is.
just being when she talks to anyone, she's really only talking about him. Now that didn't happen in the prologue. Obviously,
No.
Nadia and us talked about other things. But once we got into the story,
Does she talk to Nadia about other things? I mean, she goes, here, let me help you with things, but they don't really seem to have a conversation about anything. There's no long, drawn-out conversation that basically doesn't
We
involve...
never see other people talking, really, and it seems like nobody can stay in a room with more than 2 people for more than a couple of frames, but we should keep going.
It's fine. I'm just like,
And I know he wants to do the right
And I
thing.
know he wants to do the right thing.
I'm just like, it's a little confusing, and again, the places where I'd want to choose something different doesn't seem available.
Wish you wouldn't go running off in the danger every chance he gets.
I feel you. You want to take care of your brother.
This since we were kids.
Have you hated it since you were
It
kids?
seems like you probably hate it.
I'm guessing at this point,
There!
then I haven't yet. Thank you. You're right. And you haven't asked about it either. And we haven't got a chance to ask about it either. Wouldn't that have been a great thing to ask about? But it also would have been great to have him actually tell us the story he's promised to tell us the entire time. which he
About
still
himself.
hasn't done. I haven't heard much about Julian and Portia's childhood. Noticing my curiosity, Portia ushers me out into the hall, smiling, and then locks the door 900 times.
Stories I could tell you, nerd.
Don't forget to lock the door. And also, can we
Please.
go pick up his wig or at least see if it's there and if someone else has it?
Please, I'm a panic.
I would love to hear stories, but not right now.
We grew up together in Nevivon. Nevivon. I like the name.
Nevivon.
Nevivon. We grew up together in Nevivon, home of the famous saltwater hot springs.
Sounds like fun. Sounds like I would have never heard of it.
The grandmas raised us and a couple of other kids together.
So, are you the older sister, and is that why you're so protective of him?
Maybe. Oh, big brother.
No, he is a big brother.
I thought he was the coolest big brother in the whole world. I was always following him around.
And so you liked it when he was reckless when he was younger, when it wasn't making his life in danger.
Don't you love that actually behavior? So that's actually a thing you and I have talked about before.
little
Not
bit.
on this at all. Like,
No.
I don't think on any of our stuff I'm going, actually, one of the things that happens with kids, where if you want to confuse them, and it confused us as kids, is as an adult, raise your kid with completely contradictory things.
So if you want to simplify it really, really hard, because we're going to try and keep moving, is basically, if you say it's okay for them to do while they're a kid, then it should be okay for them to do while they're an adult.
Yeah.
So if you go, reckless is great, boys will be boys kind of thing, then you're going to have a reckless adult man. You're not raising a child, you're raising an adult. So if you go, oh my God, this little tiny skirt is so cute on my toddler, they may like little tiny skirts when they're older too, and then you've suddenly gone, no, well, you're too old to wear that now.
Right?
Why?
Like,
Now-
when we're talking about tiny as in, like, size.
Like very short.
Very
Because
short.
a lot of people, they have really tiny little short things on their very small kids. And that was just one example. Like, that doesn't have anything to do with standards other than going, it's fine if they climb on stuff, when they're tiny and I have everything bolted to the walls. Or, and then when they get older and they start climbing on everything and you're like, you're 7 now, stop climbing on everything. I'm afraid you're going to fall and die.
Right?
Like, it just set your standards early.
Right?
All right. Big brother in the world.
Especially when I went to see all of our he went to go see all our visitors from far off places.
Why did you have so many visitors from far off
That's why I was
places?
just going, what? That's why I stopped. I got
Also,
confused.
you seem super chill about this. I'm still like, wig.
Oh, that reminds me. Want to hear the story he was telling my lady sisters when we found them in the salon?
Oh, dear.
Why are we being so chill about this? Like, I guess
we're also-
maybe she's just super stressed out. It's possible that she's trying to comfort, going back to basically memories of home and comfort, and going, I'm trying to put myself in a safe space again because
Right.
I'm so distracted. Okay, that's fine.
Well, and he also does that too. He talks a lot when he's nervous, so they're related, so that's totally possible.
Completely.
Let's learn the character.
The ways he tells it, a gang of rough and tumble ruffians came through Nevion to steal our famous bath salts.
All of them.
All of them?
Every bath salt you have. Your lives are your bath salts.
Do it!
Do it.
And they would have gotten away with it if it hadn't been for those meddling kids.
Me too. I was like, if he hadn't been for those meddling kids. Ah, that's great. If he hadn't fought them all off, that's hilarious.
Single-handedly, blindfolded, cracking jokes the whole time.
That's how he tells it. That's how he tells
tells
it.
it.
That's
So
hilarious.
ridiculous.
Good job. He's like,
I wonder if he
it's
got
amazing.
I wonder if he got beat, like real
I
hard.
don't know.
But that's not how I tell it. You want to hear what really happened?
Sure, but first, one, if you think he could actually get back to the cottage, we should do that. So maybe tell it on the way. And 2, we need to go see if his wig is still there.
I'm still anxious about the wig.
Well, tell me everything, but what? Right here in the hallway.
Yeah, sure, tell us everything. It's
I would
fine.
love to hear more about him. That's fine. But what are we Are we okay?
Can we keep walking?
That's what I was going to say. We should keep walking. So we just need to move to the Phantom of the Opera movie, the really, recent 2000 ones.
Oh, God,
and
yeah.
every conversation happens where they're all booking it down the halls in big choruses. Like you've got 19 people all going, we're going to have a serious conversation while running through the opera house at a
Honestly,
jog.
I loved those musical arguments where they were just traversing through the opera house. It was so charming. Like, that was a great aspect of that.
I'll just scream music in your face while we run at a good clip in our fancy clothing.
I love it. It's great.
I love her, disgusted face. It's so good. Okay. So did you guys, run the hot spring? Were you alone in this area? It's not a resort, it's just your family there at your own
That
hot
kind of
spring?
is what that sounds like.
That's just the entire town. No one was awake or were there alone.
Yeah, maybe.
That's wild.
It must have been really early.
Oh, that's so cute. So it is their personal bath salts that they make them? Is that what their family does?
That would be fascinating. We're
That would
basically salt miners then?
And then we flavor them and color them and pack them into
them. Excuse me.
I call it flavors, but I call shampoo flavors anyway.
It's
So I'm like,
true.
what flavor shampoo would you want?
What sauce would you like for your hair today?
What laundry sauce would you like to use? Okay, so we found these little fabric softener pellets. They're literally pellets in a shaker. I'm like, you can now season your laundry as well as sauce it.
Yes, it was super good.
Okay.
Of
course he did. Was he okay? I mean, of course he did. Sounds just like him. Wait, Red Market and the library? Hang on.
What?
I'm not sure how those two relate to each other. I could be missing something.
I mean, are we talking about the time when he started going aggressively, we should have a makeout session because I'm super anxious?
Yeah, but what does that have to do with the Red Market?
I don't know. I'm not saying I understand it, but I'm trying to
Yeah, I was saying, but he is very impulsive. It's fine.
think back. What?
Yes, except for, as far as we know, he always wants to help us. But behaviorally, he always wants to help us.
I mean,
and what he's described historically, he always wants to help everyone.
Well, and especially being a doctor. Now,
Yes.
I don't know whether or not he wants to help everyone in terms of, like, I'm going to help everyone outside of my medical field.
Right.
Like you're going, this is my professional space.
Right.
Like, I want to help people in my professional space, but outside of it, I don't...
Well, and also saying he always wants to help everyone. He's not much of a peacemaker. He's actually pretty aggressive
He's
sometimes.
super aggressive. But again, he's self-destructive. Like,
Right?
wow, he's
but at the same
so
time, so it's like,
unhappy.
I don't know if he always wants to help people, but I know that he always wants to help me, even at his own expense.
Right.
And that he does like to do things at his own expense, period, because he is so unhappy he's self-destructive.
Right?
So
We had to save his butt, though.
good. He's still that gangly, my dear.
My dear, he hasn't changed.
He is still, okay, he's even taller now. Oh, damn.
He
He was even stringier back then.
So he had more
Oh.
leg then, and then he sort of balanced out as he got older, but he's still made of leg. So
Yes.
he became less awkward Spike Spiegel, but then became true Spike
So
Spiegel.
somebody used to stare at him and go, there's no way that's anatomy is accurate. And then they saw him now and going, damn, who has proportions like that? He just balanced out a little bit.
I have seen some people where you're like, you are made up.
Is that
Like,
possible?
you are leggy.
I love it when you draw someone from life and people go, your made up proportions and anatomy is terrible. And you're like, no, that's the life reference.
That's
It's
it.
fine.
That's literally the life reference.
Well, based on the Heart Hunter, he has a thing with and for pirates. I don't know why. He keeps asking Faust if she wants to be a pirate.
He's asked,
And he also says it to Portia.
right? And also I think, like, no.
Does he say it to Nadia too?
No.
But when we're on the docks, he's just like pirate things.
He keeps doing pirate crap. It's
And I don't know why.
Well, yeah, he got his butt handed to him.
Did you throw something
Did
at
you
their head?
kick their butt?
Yes!
Yes!
Were they literally just walking right in front of your house down the main road? Like, your shovel was right there at hand?
Maybe they just had it with them because they were going to go get salt? Like
Maybe.
doing early morning tasks. Like going earlier in the morning would be, especially for a hot spring,
Right,
it's really hot.
We were already working and doing jobs. That's why the three of us were awake.
Yeah, that would be
Maybe.
my guess, especially with
Okay.
younger kids, and especially in like. So I'm gonna put this in the other way I can understand is going in lower income basically environments. You would have basically children. That's why you had so many kids to do your labor for you,
Yeah, to help divide up the
or help
labor.
divide up the
Yes.
labor. So
I bet she was amazing. I bet she had to swing up a lot. Like,
actually,
unless the bandits
I just
were short,
aimed right there.
I just swung it straight forward and they never stood up straight again.
And
Woo!
there was a lot of crunching.
Hi, please. I needed those. That was this morning? I thought that was... No, that was this morning with the wig. Okay.
Right,
Okay,
right,
I got
right.
it. I'm like, I'm so... You did go for the knees.
Yes!
Amazing. It's true. Aw. Well, if assaults are somehow your livelihood, then yeah.
But also, like, she could also be mad at them, too, going, you're in danger.
You guys are being reckless. What are you doing?
Your lives are not worth our salts that we can get lots of the time. Like, screw
Yes.
it.
It might be a little bit of a hard season, but your lives aren't worth it.
Right.
Yes, absolutely. So that's that manufacturing, don't put your hand in the machine thing. Anyway.
Right?
Okay, so that's like big mood, right? They're just like, I will beat you. The fact that it is a grandma with a rolling pin, no, not worth it. Bye! We will die. And drawing attention to us in the hallway that is ominous and quiet.
No. Getting more awkward because I'm still thinking about the fact that we haven't moved out of the hallway, so it's literally right there.
I could
and
feel
I'm-
myself moving into hysterical laughter because I'm worried so hard, and moving then to crying because I've suddenly started feeling emotions and I can't contain things anymore, and I'm really worried.
Like,
that's-
I would really
that's
be
me.
worried.
So he did. He went to
met
university.
Nadia in Prakra,
In
because that's where
Prakra.
she's from.
It is.
Oh,
that would be
neat.
great. Okay, cool. What's not? It wasn't like you've just changed from past tense to current tense.
Hey, it might have been me, so you might not want to be too judgy, because I've
Okay.
changed a couple tenses, because
Yeah.
I figure, like, some of the stuff, I don't know.
All right. Did you find him in Prakra?
We'd both
and then
grown up,
find him
maybe?
again? No, that's what I'm going. I'm just like, when you talked about finding him in Prakra, and now you're talking about it's not like when you were kids. Are you talking about now?
It could be
or
one.
it wasn't
it's
like when you were
probably
kids back
both.
then.
It's probably one of those things. So when sometimes people talk, they're talking simultaneously about going, "I'm sad because the same thing is still true. It's true then. It was true then that we had become adults, and it's still true now that we're still that basically weird, distant thing of where
Right.
we can't really connect well anymore.
I'm also
They're
like, you
creating
guys-
a bridge point. Now,
you
that
guys-
doesn't mean it's there, but...
You didn't stay in touch at all when he went to college or university. That's disappointing.
Huh?
He has definitely demonstrated that. It's true. On the other hand, people don't have to take your help.
It's
Even
true.
if it's serious, you can't force them to take help.
Especially because sometimes what you can do is, sometimes you'll just encourage them to mostly hurt themselves more.
Uh-huh.
But I would also say...
Or they'll rebel against the help.
recognize that in yourself when somebody may be trying to help you, and maybe look at it going, what is this person trying to do for me that's good for me that I'm not getting?
Yes, what could I receive from this that is good?
Uh-huh.
But also for them, if you're offering help, don't try and force someone to take it. Try and find an access point that they can connect with.
Right. Really talked about...
I'm glad you can
Like, he's
feel that he
been-
cares about you.
Yeah. I
You
mean, he's
are the-
mentioned it a couple times.
She's the only one that needs to access it, though.
It's true.
So many. It
So
would count
many.
a lot. Wait,
There's the count, and then there's the countess, and then...
we didn't go back to the garden.
We don't have
just,
any
wait, we didn't.
countings.
We didn't go back to your cottage. We just went back to the garden.
Yeah, because her cottage is in the garden, remember? This is the way to...
But why are we stopping here? If we stayed in there the whole time, why didn't we just walk through this while we were talking?
Okay, that's a good point. I just thought you were mentioning going, like, why are we here?
No,
Because it's a transitional
Because
screen.
clearly we're stopping here.
I know, right?
We finally emerged from the palace and into the gardens. Were we walking while anyway, it doesn't matter. We finally started walking and emerged from the palace into the gardens. The setting sun paints the garden in warm, hazy light. Beautiful. I'm not worried anymore for no reason. Nerd is worried. It's not much further to Portia's cottage. But there, sitting on the lip of the fountain, it's the countess. Hello, countess. Did you find the wig? We should probably tell you what's going on at this point.
terrified.
Actually, you know what? If we trust her at all, we should honestly talk to her about this. But more appropriately, we should get Asra in on this and be like, look, here's my master. It is appropriate for me as an apprentice to speak while he's here and tell you about the job you've hired me for and what I have discovered so far.
I am uncomfortable. My lady.
Portia, a nerd, just who I was hoping to find. Although it seems you have found me. But why are you covered in dirt? What happened?
We were searching the palace, my lady, for the investigation.
I see. Then tell me, what have you found? My thoughts race, but I feel strangely calm. There's plenty of evidence casting doubt on Julian's role in Count Lucio's death. I just have to convince Nadia that something's not right. Magic was involved, the courtiers know something, Dr. Dweck is innocent. The only thing we know for sure...
His magic was involved.
Well, I say the courtiers also know something about Lucio, but are we talking about Lucio or Dvorak or the whole case? Who are we talking about
I mean,
here?
all three of them are pretty relevant, though going in on something she would access.
What
is a thing she would get?
Well, for us, we are magical, so we could say we know how to say magic is involved.
That's what I said, like, probably...
That's why we're the authority.
Yep, going like...
The one thing we know about is that magic was involved.
Like, period. We know that.
We can suspect the courtiers, but that also sounds like dismissing of going, well, it's over there.
And we're also casting blame on potentially... We don't even know what her relationship with them is like. That would be
potentially
so
someone
bad.
that she may be protective of, and we know her very little.
Like, damn, we barely talked to this character. Like,
yep.
whoa.
And suddenly we've been working for her for like 5 days without interacting at all. It's wild. Magic was involved. Magic was involved.
Go on.
No, that's me.
No, I would go
It's
on.
me.
There.
No, mine. Put it down. Put it down. All right. Go on.
One day she'll be mine.
Strange things have been happening in the Count's room. When I was there with you, Portia and, Asra, Portia's ladder was knocked over by a strange white figure.
Is that what that was?
There must be some powerful magic at work, Nadia. I admit, I've come to much the same conclusion on my own. Hold on, let me talk to myself, it's fine. I noticed something strange when we were cleaning the room that day. Only Lucio himself burned. The sheets and furniture were intact. We said the whole room was destroyed, I thought. I don't know, anyway.
There was ash over everything is what happened.
Ash,
so,
right. And so they cleaned it off and realized none of it was burnt.
Uh-huh.
That was no ordinary fire. Nobody's looked at it since you cleaned it up now? Really? You pretty much went, he burned up there, seal it like a tomb, and then let's hope without any investigation or looking at anything that we just figured out. Well, someone said it was Dr. Dvorak, therefore, don't look any further. Him, it must have been me. I can't remember, but I won't look any further
This is where I'd be
either.
like then raising my hand going, all right, so I wish to actually ask you a few questions of my own. Tell me what happened in your opinion, the knowledge you know. I need to find out an establishing point.
We will cover this again because we've covered it several times going, Why have we never interviewed Nadia at all about what she knows? If someone says, I want you to do a job for me, you usually go, what kind of a job would you like me to do? Well, I want it to look like this. What do you know about that? Like, there's literally a series of questions at the state of hiring that we never did. At all. And we've never seemed to feel out of our depth either, for some reason.
We're a doormat. We apparently have no opinions, no feelings, and we clearly don't have any regard for anyone else.
Dr. Dvorak can't cast magic.
Thank you!
Just ask the townspeople who used to know him. I wasn't aware of that. So someone else must have been involved. How troubling. Perhaps there is more to this mystery than I thought.
Oh,
you really never looked into it either?
Nobody's looking into this crap?
Like, however long it's been, no one's ever looked into it. And then you
didn't even, like...
And then finally, your first action of, you know what? No one's done shit for possibly years, because we still don't know the timeline.
We're gonna go hire somebody who's a greenhorn!
I am so pissed off about how hard it is to run my kingdom right now, and how alone I feel, and how isolated and out of my depth, and, you know, separated from my friends and family and what I care about, and everything's going to hell. I'm just gonna run down to the magician's place and be like, I need you right now! Go fix this! Like, man, when you took a while to build up to it, but when you did you take some action? Good job. Like,
but you know, the thing is she still, again, hired a greenhorn. Like, a really bad greenhorn. Like, you have terrible judgment.
Also, why not hire an actual investigator?
No kidding. I'm still going to be asking that question until I die.
Like, just hire Nancy Drew. She'll do better. Get the Hardy Boys. Pick up Poirot. You know what? Just go and get Sherlock Holmes. You know what? You could even get, like, Miss Marple.
It'll be fine.
Get Jessica Fletcher. You'll be good. Just pick one.
You've got a whole array of them. There's even more that we haven't counted here. Let me go to Wikipedia and go
I hope I can rely on you to help find the truth of this matter. Before I can say anything further, there's a sudden commotion in the garden. Guards shout in alarm, metal clatters, footsteps rush towards us. And he changed his clothes? How the hell did he change his clothes?
Wait, where did he store his clothes? Wait, what?
His clothes were in the cottage, so did he go to the cottage and they chased him out of the cottage?
I thought this was the only way out to the cottage.
Apparently you have to walk through this part of the garden to get to the cottage based on
I could be wrong.
Anyway, let's find out how he got there.
Wait, the exit in the library. He remembered it existed!
And he used
we didn't! Oh my god, why did we not remember that exit was there? We even went there in the prologue that you...
Except for as far as I know, that exit doesn't exist for him. He only used the one that Astra made light up with Faust on it.
No, there was a part where Portia, where we were like,
that's where she showed us around in the prologue, but he wasn't there for that.
But that means I'm like, but he's already been here, so I'm saying he knows where that is.
Maybe he remembered.
We can't remember.
Because we were locked in the library and we somehow got out of it. And a familiar figure burst through the greenery, carelessly shoving the branches aside. I got my starch cake back!
Yes! There was another one down there, and guess what it doesn't have on it?
Blood and dirt and muck and sweat.
I'm so sad.
I need a bath, actually. Julian? Oh! Julian's eye darts over my face and Portia's. I see a brief spark of relief in his expression. And does he see the Countess? And then he pushes us both aside, out of his way, and keeps running? Oh no, he lost his memory.
Maybe?
I'm
not here to talk to a couple of strangers. Either that or he's going to pretend he doesn't. Yeah,
Or is someone else disguised as him?
Oh, that's a good
also
question.
A possibility.
We forget magic can have you do that kind of crap.
My word. Is this? Julian throws his arms wide, his coat billowing dramatically around him. My blood runs cold. I see my own dawning horror reflected in the look on Portia's face. What is he? No.
Yeah, this doesn't sound like him at all.
He can't
so
possibly
we have one of two
here
things. He's lost his memory, or honestly, my other thought is going. So we seem to not remember magic. We've just got a magic thing going on, like that's.
And someone's going to be framing him. I caught him down in the dungeon. And now I can pretend to be him.
Ha!
And then I can swap myself out at some point.
Or he's being manipulated, and he's got to pretend.
Like he doesn't. He's going. I will protect you by pretending I don't know who you are. And he will do that, being like, "You're a couple of strangers. You obviously weren't in cahoots with me."
Yes, that is so pointed, and also the thing of relief. He's been set up. Something weird went on. Countess Nadia, ruler of Vesuvia, your guards and magicians have failed to find me, but at the long last, after all these years, I decided for some damn reason to walk through here and turn myself in like a smartass. Doesn't that seem suspicious to you? I mean, I'd be suspicious to you.
I'm suspicious of me, but it's fine.
The search is over! This seems so ridiculous. I, Julian Dvorak, have come to turn... Julian, excuse me.
Sorry?
Julian Dvorak has come to turn myself in for the murder of Count Lucio.
That doesn't make any sense.
Fascinating.
That is the mystery. We finally had a mystery. Ah! All right. Well, I'm concerned, but I've been concerned for a little while here. So, we're gonna like just wrap this up and forward ahead soon.
All right.
Because the assets they are downloading.
So what do you think so far? Is it like I'm like
Cliffhanger? Oh,
a cliffhanger bunch? No, I'm like. So what you have any thoughts so far?
I mean, those were pretty much my theories on that so far, is going either he's pretending he doesn't know us to protect us because he assumes he's been found out and has to be turned in. He has discovered something that he thinks implicates him as far as his own guilt and is trying to separate us from that. He's being impersonated, or et cetera, et cetera.
I genuinely think it's mostly of somebody found him, he's been caught, they forced something on him and going, if you do this,
but how did he change his clothes? Like, if it's actually him, how the hell did he change his clothes?
He might really have a set
I had
downstairs.
spare, identically matching clothes. Actually, my whole closet is full of these clothes, and that's all I have.
This is all I've got in my life.
I had stored down there in the dungeon too.
You know, it's called edgy doctor wear. You should really look it up.
Like, it's just, you just buy the same outfit. Like, it's when they release the spring fashion lines, and you just buy 15 copies of the same thing. You're good for years.
Yeah, pretty much. You look awesome. All right, well, I guess this has been Scandal.
And I have been Lies.
And it was
great playing with you. Bye!